We are still at the Eastern United States Dancesport Championships, the Marriott Long Wharf in Boston, Massachusetts. With me at the moment, I have Mr. Quintus Jansen.
Jansen, yeah.
Was that nearly right?
It was almost right.
Oh, almost. Okay. And he was actually captain of the South African team that competed in the Internations team match last night. So now, first thing, dancing in South Africa.
Yeah.
Okay. Totally multiracial.
Completely integrated. It's actually been one of the main factors that got the cultural, the different cultures in South Africa to actually kind of combine and interact with each other, you know, after apartheid. So it was actually quite instrumental.
That is brilliant. I come from a place called Northern Ireland, and we had a little bit of a civil war going on between Protestants and Catholics.
Yes.
And ballroom dancing was one of the few areas where it didn't matter, Protestants and Catholics.
So we have something in common.
We actually do have something in common.
That's
so
great.
that's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Now, tell me a little bit about the system in South Africa. Is it done? Because obviously you had amateurs here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now in Europe, they have the club system, where you actually belong to a club.
Yeah.
In England and over here, they have the studio system. So how does this work in South Africa?
We actually have a combination of both. We've got some clubs, but generally the good couples belong to studios. And the studios are actually quite broad, so we do pro-am dancing as well as competitive dancing inside the same studio.
That is actually very cool.
Yeah.
Now, are your amateurs allowed to dance pro-am, or is it just the professionals?
The amateurs are allowed to dance pro-am, but underneath the supervision of a professional.
Which is
the way
I think it's the way it should be.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's really good. Now, tell me a little bit about yourself. You're a full-time teacher?
Yeah, I own a dance studio called Dance Culture Studios.
Okay.
And I teach full-time. Well, not really. I manage the studio full-time.
Okay.
I have teachers who teach for me. And it's actually been really, really good because I grew up competing. So I did the whole tour, the Blackpools, the German Opens, the this and that. I've never been to the States before, so this is my first trip. Love the States. So that's how I grew up. And then after I started competing, I started choreographing shows. So I started choreographing corporate shows and so forth. And then I was on Strictly Come Dancing in South Africa, which is your equivalent to Dancing with the Stars.
Of course.
Yeah, and I was one of the choreographers on So You Think You Can Dance South Africa.
Wow.
So did a bit of that, and then I decided that I actually want to focus on bringing the standard of dancing in South Africa up to an international standard again, because we did go through a bit of a slump. We had a season where we had top dancers coming through our ranks, and then it wasn't being passed on because everybody had moved overseas. And then we as a dance fraternity in South Africa said, let's kind of unite and let's build South Africa's dancing again. So we're on that path now, hence we're doing a lot more overseas travels and getting up to speed with what you guys are doing.
That is great. Like obviously there have been some very famous South African dancers.
Yes.
Most of them seem to have stayed in Europe. Have any, apart from yourself, actually moved back?
Michael Wentink comes back to South Africa quite often to train some couples and some people. But not many, like Brian Watson doesn't get the opportunity to come down as often, same as Nicole Cutler. Michael Torres, who is based in Germany, he doesn't even dance anymore. We're still in contact, but he's not involved with dancing at all.
Okay.
And then the other South Africans, well, there's Dave Campbell, who's still based in South Africa. He trained Brian Watson. But I mean, he's at the end of his career at this stage. But there are young dancers who are doing well internationally, like Darren Hammond. He's, I think, making semi-finals and so forth.
I've seen him actually dance in the States a few times. Like,
so he's
very
doing
good.
well. He comes down about 2 or 3 times a year and to share some knowledge and some passion and so forth. So we do have a few people. We definitely have to work on the ballrooms. Our Latins are much stronger. So our ballrooms are getting there. But it's also not just about getting our standard up there, but it's getting, you know, the young people involved in ballroom and Latin American dancing. So we started to take dancing a lot more through the school system. So we've got a clever system. What we do is we take hip hop to school, and then everybody loves it. And then we say to them, well, you've got to do partner work in hip hop dancing. Then the guys get into it and they're like, hey, we get to dance with girls. And that's how we're getting more guys to dance Latin American dancing, which is great.
Yes, I was discussing this with some of the Icelandic team last night. Because obviously young guys sometimes get a bit of a problem
There's
when
a
they
stigma
dance.
attached to it.
Yes, there is. some of the young guys at Dance are fantastic athletes. So it's just like, and they get to hang out with the girls.
Exactly.
So
like
that's
in South Africa, rugby is like the sport, like American
course.
football and so forth.
Yeah.
So I always used to get teased being a dancer, and I used to say to the guys, you know, you grab other guys very intimately, and I grab ladies very intimately. I'd rather have my days than your days, you know.
Okay,
so-
and for our American viewers who don't know what rugby is,
It's the real sport where it's similar to your American football, but we don't wear all the pads and helmets and so forth. So
yeah,
it's like,
no
it's really
satin,
tough.
no satin jerseys.
No.
But you do grab your opponents in very intimate places.
Yes.
And you don't get arrested for doing it. So
It's very
it's
physical.
a very different culture,
Indeed.
rugby culture.
Yeah.
So now you said this was your first visit to the States.
Yes.
Are you staying in Boston? Are you going to go anywhere else? What's going to happen?
Well, we said we did the long trek right all the way to Boston. So we said we're going to make a meal of it. And so after this competition, we're going through to the New York Dance Festival. So next week we'll see you there.
You will indeed.
Yeah.
Well, hey, it's a pleasure having you here at
Thank you.
the Eastern United States Dancesport Championships.
Got it
I
right.
hope I got it right for the first time. Hopefully I'll see you next week, and hopefully we'll
Definitely.
see you in the States sometime next year.
Definitely.
Okay. Thank you
you.
very much.
Cheers.